Welcome to my corner, where I annoy you with really long rants. Today while I was at the gym, I was thinking about something, and it's obviously been something that's always came up in my bodybuilding career, and that is that people think that genetics are what make you. That's it, genetics. And I mean, people are always like, wow, you're so blessed to have the genetics that you have. And I mean, I agree, you know, I'm blessed to a certain point, but genetics are not everything. You think that in 5 years, think about that, 5 years, 5 times 365, that's a lot of days. You think I couldn't be a lot bigger if I, you know, had better genetics, or if I had more work ethic or something? You know, after 5 years, I feel like I'm not that big, yet people are always like, wow, your genetics are so great, you're like Adonis, and it's so easy for you, and you probably just picked up a weight and you grew all these muscles. And what I say to you is, you know, genetics help. Genetics are a part of it, but more importantly than genetics is your work ethic, you know? Because I have friends that have better genetics than me. Admitted, totally. I have friends who have way better genetics than me. But the difference is the priorities and the work ethic, you know? My priority is #1 is to build muscle, and their priority is not #1 to build muscle. So my work ethic is put more towards building muscle than their work ethic is towards putting on muscle. So my work ethic outdoes their genetics. You see what I'm saying? My point here is that no matter what your genetics are, whether you're a fat person or you're endomorph, mesomorph, you know, all these little morphs and stuff, no matter what your genetic predisposition is, your work ethic is what's going to define what you look like, no matter what your genetics are. People are always relying on their genetics as an excuse or as a downplay of someone who's better than them or looks better than them, and it's just not, that's just not the case at all. For example, my genetics keep me very lean throughout all of my bulking and all of my cutting and everything. I'm always staying a pretty lean body fat, but it is pretty hard for me to put muscle on, and I work my ass off to put muscle on, especially in the places that I have a hard time putting muscle on. Like my chest and my calves and my legs, I have a really hard time putting muscle on there. So I don't ignore that. I don't say, oh, those are my genetic weak points, that'll just never come up. I work harder. I put more work ethic into those things that I need to bring up. Your body is a product of your work ethic, your discipline, and your consistency. Those 3 things are what make you. If you decide that you don't want to go to the gym as much, you're not going to look as good as the guy who goes more than you. Whether your genetics are great or not, you're going to have to put the time and effort into it. Again, there's a bit of a rant going on, but I just want to get that point across, that it's not all coming down to genetics. It all comes down to how much you're willing to beat on your craft until you've created something that is in your own power to do. I stole that quote, but I just love that quote. It's something that's in your own power to do, and what you do with it is what's going to come out of it. If you limit yourself in your mind to, I can only get this and that because my genetics are like this and that, my dad has only gotten this and that, everyone in my family looks like this and that. If you limit yourself in your mind, you're going to limit yourself physically. Your body is an outward expression of your work ethic and the discipline that you put into your craft. So if you aren't willing to hammer on it for years and years and years and years, you're never going to look like the people that you look up to. People always ask me how I did it, what I take, etc., 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 and they say that it's not working for them. But I watch them work out, and it's not the same as me. I'm not trying to downplay people or make fun of people or anything, but when those people work out with me, then they say, wow, I've never worked out so hard, I've never had such a hard pump. And that's them hitting the gym with me one time. That's my workout every day, 365 days. I mean, every single workout should be as best as possible. You should finish the workout feeling like you couldn't put anything else into it. I don't know, it's just hard for me to watch people not try as hard as they can and watch them not push themselves to the limit, because I know that you can do more and more reps or more sets or more. I can see so much more in you, but you don't do it. And then you wonder why you don't get the results that you want. Discipline, work ethic, consistency. Alright, thank you for joining me in my corner. I'm going to put you back where you belong.